Good evening. Thanks again for clicking on this video or taking the time to actually be interested to listen to what it is that I have to say. First of all, I just want to state I'm really appreciative of the people who are watching this and the people that are supporting me still and who are, donating towards my compilation tapes and watching my old content and being into my VHS-recorded videos and that sort of stuff and my editing. I'm really appreciative of the support that you guys have provided me. I haven't got my ass yet into having a Patreon. Maybe we'll do something like that in the future. That's not something that I'm clamoring to do. But I really wanted to just state first off that I'm really appreciative of everybody out there who is entertained by what it is that I do. Thanks a bunch. It really means a lot to me. COVID-19 has been a fucking nightmare. And in so many different ways. And I understand that it's a pandemic. People are dying. But it's just add on to that the complexities of, what this has done to people's friendships and relationships and family. And it's, I'm going through a lot of that sort of stuff right now myself. And it hasn't been easy. There gets to a point in time where you kind of just have to kind of keep going. And that's basically kind of where I'm at. So one of the things that I've really wanted to continue doing is I want to continue making content for you guys. And one of the things that I found really challenging is not only having the drive and the interest in doing that sort of stuff, but also having the time to do it and the resources. And, for me to do my retrospective videos, that takes a lot of time. That it takes a lot of just research and archiving and setting stuff up. And I'm also I'm really specific with the way that I edit my stuff. And I really want it to look a certain way. And I really go out of my way to make it look a certain way and to get it to exactly what it is that I want to get. And sometimes that takes a lot of time. And sometimes, that is worth it. That's totally worth it to take that extra step. But other times, it's not super necessary, I guess you could say. So what I'm kind of getting at is that I want to start to do more content again. I want to start to be able to provide you guys with entertainment, but I want to do it in a different way. And that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to stop doing my retrospective videos or, my VHS recorded stuff or whatever, that's still going to keep coming. But I want to start to include some other kind of content. And I think this type of one-on-one kind of thing where I'm talking to you, I think is the right approach. And the big thing that I really want to do is I want to give you guys an insight as to who I am and my interests, because I feel I don't really do that a whole lot. And I feel there's a lot of questions and I want to answer a lot of those questions. And I want also to learn about you. I want you to tell me about what interests you. And I want you to tell me about what aspect of something is interesting to you or what experience you've had with something that we're talking about. I'm going to talk about a lot of movies. There's a whole bunch of movie shit around me if you didn't notice. I'm going to talk a lot about my interests, all over the fucking board. If you didn't happen to notice, the intro to this video has a lot of different shit going on. And it's because I really wanted it to reflect and to give you a sense and to emulate what it is that sometimes goes through my brain. I wanted to all the different avenues. There's DOS games and there's old VHS tapes and, terrible pro wrestling and really great pro wrestling and different aspects of that. And there's a lot of stuff that really I don't have an opportunity to talk about very often. And so I really want to take this opportunity to actually discuss it and also learn what it is that you're into as well. And parts of it that, what's your take on something like that? So I'll be talking about stuff that's interesting to me, but I also want to know what your experience is with it. And I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to talk about I'm going to review, Halloween for the 450th time on YouTube or whatever. I'm not going to talk about, ranking all the Friday the 13th movies or something like that. Like, I don't know, maybe at some point, I don't know. But I want to really talk about like my specific interest in a lot of these topics, and really specifically that's channeling into this aspect of looking at a lot of this stuff in a different way, and not only just kind of being like, not only having this focus of the nostalgia element to it, which is very cool. But I also want to reflect on a lot of this stuff, and I want us to kind of look at certain things and be like, like, are we really kind of, like acknowledging that stuff for what it is, for the right for the right reasons, for the right purpose, for the right reasons. I want to be able to kind of talk about things that interest me in all kinds of avenues of media, and maybe going a little bit outside of that and talking about some personal shit. I don't know. We'll see. But I really want to be able to give you guys a good idea of who I am, and just, give you more insight into who the fucking real Eddie Spuhghetti is, I guess you could say. So that's kind of the purpose of what this video is just kind of give you guys a heads up as to like what I'm doing and what's going on for me. And that I want to start to be able to bring back content that entertains you. And I kind of hope that this would be a series, or, just videos that I talk about something and you watch this before you go to bed or something like that. Like, I want this atmosphere to be cozy, and I want everything to be, really just like somber and simple and that sort of stuff. And I'm not going to go out of my way to edit stuff like crazy. In fact, if you notice, this video is not recorded in VHS. I'm not going to go to that extent. I'm actually going to film it in a higher resolution than what I usually do. And that's a first for me. That was a big choice for me to be like, well, I don't really want to go to that extent to go crazy for that. But, it is what it is. And I know that a lot of people, it's not a big deal. And for some people, it's like, oh, I kind of wish it was like that. And, it's all good, because the most important thing is going to be regarding what I'm going to be talking about. And the other important thing is basically learning about what your take is about it and what your experience is with a lot of this stuff, because, I don't really want to just keep going on about myself. There's a lot more to it than just that. We all experience things in a different way. And I think that's really magical. I think that's important. And I think that's like something that's worth talking about and exploring, instead of just doing reviews of stuff. Or ranking things or whatever. And I'm not trying to shit on that. Like, I totally understand why people do that, and I totally get like that's a thing. And at some point, like, I will probably do something like that. But I want to offer you something different. I want to offer you something that you will talk with other people about, and you will kind of have your thoughts about it, and maybe be like, oh, you know what? He actually kind of brings up a really good point about something. So that's really the gist of what I'm kind of talking about in this video. And it's really more so kind of like a introductory kind of thing, or just like an update, I guess, if you will, about how things are going for me, and that I'm going to start to do more videos again. And they're going to be in this style. And we're going to talk about some really cool, interesting stuff, and maybe some stuff you never heard of, and maybe some stuff you had heard of, but maybe didn't know a whole lot about, or something like that. We all have a lot of shit we're doing these days. There's a lot of terrible stuff going on in the world right now. And so I appreciate the fact that you're taking the time to listen to me. I really do. So thanks, and have a good one.